So what is the Jeep Gladiator for anyway? You know, right now they're having big, huge sales on Jeeps, particularly the Gladiator and other models, I guess. So you might be considering getting one, but what are you going to do with it once you do? Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that would like to be off-roading in it, out camping, doing all that stuff. And I know there's a lot of people that do that, and that's cool, man. But what if you don't? What if you don't use it for that? Do you really even need a Jeep Gladiator? Well, let me tell you, first of all, this is my fourth, I don't know why, my fourth Jeep Gladiator. From a, I guess, a reliability standpoint or a quality standpoint, it's been spot on. I haven't had any issues with it. It's probably the best version of the Jeep Gladiator I've had to date. Although I still have looming in the back of my mind that auxiliary battery problem, because they do have two batteries. One is buried below the fuse panel on the passenger side, and inevitably about 3 to 4 years, maybe 5 if you're lucky, that thing's going to fail and you're going to need to replace it. And if you don't, it's going to suck power from the main battery and eventually it's going to go dead and probably leave you stranded somewhere. That's the biggest problem with any Jeep Gladiator or Jeep in general that has that auxiliary battery system. Probably the biggest problem in my mind that there is with it. I do have auto stop in it, which I've heard is going to be going away. We shall see. There is an easy fix around, just a little module that plugs in behind the panel on the front. You can get rid of it. The only repercussions of that is you're going to have a, I guess, a light that's on all the time telling you that the system is not active. It's on the front panel where the HVAC controls are. It's not really that big a deal, and it wouldn't look any different if you actually just pushed the button and deactivated it yourself. Otherwise, been pretty spot on. Fit and finish has been awesome. The paint on the truck has been fantastic, unlike that truck sitting out there. That's a whole nother thing. But anyway, fit and finish and quality on this has been pretty spot on. Now, I will say, I haven't had it that long, about 1,000 miles or something into it so far. But I find that if you're going to have trouble with any vehicle, it's probably going to be within the first 500 to 1,000 miles anyway. So I'm pretty comfortable with that. Plus, it does have warranty, so if there are any issues, that'll be taken care of. Now, as far as what you do with it, there's a few reasons why I buy them. Number one, as with any vehicle for me, is the appearance of it, the feeling of it, I guess the aura of it, right? It's a rugged, rougher kind of vehicle. I really like that. Of course, it's a Jeep. You kind of get that rough, rugged feeling, I guess, of owning a Jeep at all. And I really like that. It feels good. Secondly, is it's comfortable. There is enough interior room inside this thing, and there should be because it's basically just a square box, right? But you've got plenty of room up front. This is where my seating position is, and you can see I've got lots of room up on the front, on the sides. That's where my wife would normally sit. She's got plenty of room up there, no issues. Now, moving around to the back, we do get a bit tighter. Again, it is better than that truck out there when it comes to rear seat room. So it's pretty comfortable. The only problem I've seen from the small amount of time I've actually been in the back of a Gladiator is the more upright seat position. I like to kind of recline a little bit. Kind of bugs me to sit straight up and down so much, but nonetheless, perfectly comfortable back there as well. And I will say the comfort of the seats, I have taken Jeep Gladiators, not this particular one, but they're pretty much all the same. I have taken one on a long distance trip, about 19 hours. I've mentioned this before on the channel, but and it was comfortable. I didn't have any lower back pain or any under thigh pain here. It was surprisingly comfortable to drive. Of course, we've got the bed. Now, you're able to haul dirty things back here or bigger things that wouldn't fit necessarily inside the back of an SUV or even the Jeep Wrangler 4-door type vehicle. That is very nice to have. I am never at the mercy of a delivery person waiting in my house for them to show up to drop something off. If I go to the store and I buy a piece of furniture or a big screen TV or plants or dirt or trees or whatever it might be. I can fit it in the back of the truck myself, bring it home, and deal with it on my own time, right? I'm not waiting for somebody else, and I love that. And I think that's another big part of the aura for me when it comes to trucks in general. It just gives you more freedom and control over what you're doing without having to depend on or pay for somebody else. Delivery expenses or charges have gotten really high these days. I mean, you're somewhere probably between $50 and $150, depending on where you live and who you're dealing with, to get somebody to deliver something to your house. I love that. What about the power of it, right? It's got the 3.6 liter naturally aspirated engine. It is not a turbo. One of the big complaints I hear from a lot of the other truck owners out there is the turbo engine. Probably the biggest reason for that, I guess, is because of a concern about longevity. Is it going to have a problem? There's this feeling out there, and maybe rightfully so, that turbos just don't last as long and you're going to have trouble down the road that you wouldn't have if you had a naturally aspirated engine. I'm not so concerned about that. More for me is the power of it, and it's got plenty of power with that 3.6 liter under the hood. Drives nice, pickup is good. It could be, and probably every vehicle could be, a little bit faster with a few simple mods, but not necessarily something you have to do to make it fun to drive. And that's the last thing I want to touch on. It is a blast to drive because of the comfort, the aura, even though that shouldn't matter, the power that it has, and the ability to break it down if you want to. No, I'm not talking about the engine. I'm talking about remove the freedom panels up here in the front if you want that open air feeling, or go ahead and remove the whole top. And of course, because it's a Jeep, you can pull the doors off if you want to as well, and you can go full on open air exposure. Again, because it's a Jeep, you could also lower the front windshield if you want. I've had a few people tell me that they do that. I cannot imagine driving the truck around anywhere than maybe off-road at slower speeds and having that front windshield bent down. I would think you'd have so much wind force, not to mention bugs and tiny rocks and things coming at you, that you'd almost have to wear a helmet. And who's going to do that? I'm talking about with a face shield. Who's going to do that? Maybe goggles while you're driving down the road. Nobody. But people say they do it. I guess they do. Anyway, that's just a few things about the Jeep Gladiator, what it's for. Makes a great daily driver, makes a great family hauler, and even a long distance traveler if you need to do that. Leave a comment. Let me know what you use yours for. I'd be curious to know. Don't forget, click that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time on the channel. Bye.